I am beautiful. I am kind. I am magical. I am divine. I am intelligent. I am confident. I am resilient. I am provident. I am.
Hi, my name is Swissina, and I am a filmmaker and actress. And you are tuned into Candid Conversations with the Self-Esteem Queen and host, Feona Sharhran Huff. Get ready for a dynamic heart-to-heart talk where you can truly build your self-esteem and be reminded that you are a qualified woman embodying excellence now.
Good evening, and welcome to Candid Conversations with the Self-Esteem Queen. I'm your host, Feona Sharhran Huff, also known as the Self-Esteem Queen. And this evening, I have an amazing, epic show for you. We're talking about unlocking your infinite power. We all have it, but how do we unlock it? Well, this evening, I have a special guest, Coach Ro, author of Beyond the Flesh, Unlocking Your Infinite Power, who's going to talk to us about that very thing. And so let's bring her on this evening. Coach Ro?
Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, well, I cannot complain. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this show for quite some time. And every time I come up with a show topic, it's intentional because I always want us as qualified women embodying excellence now to evolve and grow and just be our best versions right now. And so you were the perfect person to bring on this evening. So just to get started, what is your definition of infinite power?
Your infinite power is loving who you are, accepting all of you, the polarity of you, acknowledging your self-expression and allowing yourself to be that person, to self-express. It's being free from judgment when it means critiquing yourself in the point of belittling and not evolving or growing. It's tapping into your spirit as opposed to walking in your flesh. So what we are usually limited to, you're beyond that.
So how do you get to that point? All right, what are the steps to get to your infinite power?
Well, there are steps. First and foremost, you have to want to. A lot of people don't want to tap into that power because when you tap into that power, a lot comes with it. Like I know what they say biblically, you know how they always say, well, much is gained, much is required. It's the same thing when you're tapping into that power. You have to really be ready to tap in and own your stuff. So you have to find out who you really are. And that means digging deep from the very moment that you can remember, checking in on your shadows, your hurts, your beliefs, tapping into that type of situation. And then once you see that, feel it, experience it, observe it, and then learn from it. Once you do that, it's like sky's the limit when you realize that you're more than just flesh, because then you get beyond the material world. You start really tapping into the spirit world of who you are. And it doesn't really matter what people think because we learned that all of us are individuals. And my journey is different from your journey. And although it's different, we still connect. We have to connect for us to coexist and to thrive. I'm going to need you like you need me. However, I'm really, really comfortable and happy in showing you who I am.
So, give me an example of what that looks like. I know everybody has a different path, to get to tapping into and embracing the infinite power, but give me an example, or maybe share how you tapped into your infinite power. What's some of the things that you did in order to now becoming the person, the ultimate phenomenal person that you are now?
Um, you go through your, well, I wanted to know me, be honest with you. I was raised as the only child um from my mom and my dad, but I had three older brothers. One of them was no longer with us. However, they was raised in a different household. And even though I was raised as the only child, I had cousins that were really raised in the same household with me. Like I just did a post about my cousin slash sister Tanya,
Right.
um, and she lived in the house with me growing up. So we have a huge family. We're very big and bold and beautiful. Um, and being the baby, you were always told what to do, who you were, what not to do, what to share, what not to share. And I had a lot of cousins that told me that. So, but I was also blessed to have my own space at home away from everyone. So then my imagination was always different. You know what I'm saying? And thank you, my mother, bless her heart. She taught me the beautiful gift of writing and writing my thoughts down and how I feel, because I was the only child and being in the house with just two grown-ups and both of them are
Right.
career driven. you know, you got to get it. And then my mother kept me in everything because she thought that was the thing to keep you from not getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot going on as a child. So I had to tap into early on a lot of stuff. And then you hear things and you go through things and you feel things and you start seeing yourself change, and then you move and you shake and you understand things. And then you go through life. And then when you get to a certain age, you realize you really don't know who you are. But you
Mm.
keep on moving, you keep on moving because you think this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go through the life, go get your education, go get married, find that dude, have children, get married, have children, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? It's like pow, 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 pow. And all in all, you're getting all these roles, but yet you still don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I went from being the baby child to being a teenager, then being a college kid, and then being a part of an organization, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in a band. Shout out to Marching Spartan Legion. You know what I'm saying? But we had to, like, you go through roles, but they're all roles. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. It's just roles. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo. And then I got married, did that, had children, did that. And I realized I was not happy. I realized I was really miserable. I realized I was going through changes in my life, and everybody was telling me I was changing, that was close to me, but I didn't see the change. And it was like, hmm. Then I went through the process of trying to find, oh no, something just clicked. I just was like, yo, this got to be something more than this, just this. Like getting married, paying bills, getting a house, having a house, okay, doing this, getting a car, going to work every day, hearing, like, that was like, I was like, I want more. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just,
Right.
it wasn't feeding my soul. So I just was searching. I just started searching. And I just started asking questions. And I just started asking questions. And I just started asking questions. And then I was being surprised by the questions I was asking. And then I wrote a book called I Am years ago. And my mentor, God bless her, Carrie Waits, she was my mentor at Norfolk State. She was part of the division there, and she used to do all my editing for my books and everything, and she helped me with all my writing and everything. And then she just gave me the crown of becoming an editor. She was like, "You got it. You don't need me to do it no more." But I had wrote a book, my last book that she told me I had. She was like, "Hold it. Don't put it on the block right now." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Because I had poured my heart out. And now she was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because it's going to be like, I know this is going to be a hitter. And she was like, "Just wait." And I said, "Okay, I'll wait." And she said, "Give it a couple years and see how you feel, maybe 2 to 5 years." And I said, "Okay." Well, by that time, things, you grow. Things happen. I read it after 5 years, after I guess doing work on myself, and realized I was hurt. Like I was really hurting that book. Like, but I think that was I didn't realize it took me so long to write that book. I didn't know it was years for me writing that book. Like I had no clue. I thought it was only months. When I look back at the daggone date when I started that book, it took me like about 5 years to write that book.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, I need some healing to do. I got to kind of work on myself a little bit.
Wow. So you mentioned something about the healing that
Mm-hmm.
you realized that you needed to do as a result of the time forward after writing the book, and you're like, wait a minute, I have to work on myself. What did that work look like? I know you mentioned, asking I guess you was asking yourself a lot of questions, and then in those questions you were then looking for the answers, or you were tapping into, why do you feel this way about XYZ?
Well, no, yeah, when you ask your questions, you wait for the answer. So you got to do a lot of time by yourself. So
Okay.
you got to isolate. You can't be distracted. You got to give. And like I say, when it comes to this work, it's not about religion. It's about spirituality. Um, being a coach, I work with all types of people. I mean, like literally, like I work with all types of people, and it doesn't matter to me as long as I can vibe and we can vibe, and I can help you. You know what I'm saying? It works out. I'm willing to help. You know what I'm saying? So I had to meet the people at the level, and some people don't like to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm all about self-expression. You have to self-express who you are. Who are you? Like, that's what you got to know. Who are you? Not who you think somebody told you to be, or who you think you're supposed to be, or what the society telling you to do. Like, no, who are you? Like, why are you here? Like, check for that. Like, really check to see why are you here. Not because you're here to buy a house or to be the top dog in this. No, it's something deeper than that. Like, really start searching. Like, why are you here, yo? Like, what's your purpose? Like, if you're just here to do what everybody else is doing, then you're wasting time. You're wasting breath. You're wasting energy. Show me who you are. Show me Feona.
That's key what you said, because for me, and I think I've been every show since I turned 49. I've been talking about this. I'm excited about turning 50. Now your birthday comes before mine.
Yes,
And,
November.
yes, and I will be there to celebrate you.
Scorpio season. Yes, you are going to be there. Yeah, definitely.
I will be there in the flesh, present for you.
Yeah.
So for me, as I'm approaching 50, I've been having conversations with myself, because uh, you know, for the audience who may not know, we go back way, 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 way. We go back far, far. I'm talking about a couple of
Mount
decades, right?
Gilead.
Mount Gilead, the old Mount Gilead Baptist Church. Yes,
Oh, Mount Gilead.
we
Yeah.
go far, far back, and
Miss Pat and Miss
yes,
Miss Brickhouse.
this little light of mine.
I'm gonna let it
Sunshine Choir,
shine.
Junior Choir, yes, absolutely. We go all the way
Shout
back.
out to my peoples. Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, yes, yes,
I still
yes.
talk to Miss Pat on a regular basis. She still send me text messages every day. Like, I love that lady. She just had to
I do
play.
too.
I just saw her play a few months ago. She was in play. I
Look,
took my mom. I treated my mom to it.
her and Mr. Tim, we love people like that, because
Yeah.
they were our foundation,
It
and it's
helped
like,
grow.
but yeah, but as children, as youth in leadership, growing up, we were one way. So everyone knew that I was Chairman Dingan, Clarence Anderson's granddaughter. But that was then, because I was 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm about to be 50 now. So who I was then is not who I am now. But for me, I had to reintroduce, or I am reintroducing myself to me, and find out who I am right now for myself, not for what people think me to be, from Let Me Tutor You To, or Powerhouse, or, just Fiona Shrine Huff, but who is Fiona to Fiona. So I have work that I'm working on myself, for me, because like you said, you be the mom, you are the caregiver, all these things, but who really are you? So that's something that I'm working on for myself. It's a key thing, because like you mentioned in your book, it's not so much of what people say that you are, because we come out the womb and we're told that with this, with that, with this type of person, with that, we should be this type of person, but we have to own who we are for ourselves, and be happy with who we are, because I would hope that we want to evolve. I know I do. I know you do. We want to evolve, and we want to be great. We want to be able to sow in and pour in to this world, to make it better than what it was before, and to share our gifts and our talents, and to just have purpose. I think you should know what your purpose is, and having to sit down with yourself, and like you said, getting quiet, no distractions, so that you can do the work of yourself.
Absolutely.
So in writing this book, was that a part of your getting to know who you were, and coming up with Beyond the Flesh?
No, I already knew who I was when I wrote that book.
I know that's right.
I do this on a regular basis. I do this on a regular basis. I already checked in. I do this so much, like I've been doing. I didn't realize it. Like, you look back and you see your passions, and I'm a strong believer. Let your passions be drive your purpose. Like, you gotta follow what excites you. And I was always, I ain't gonna say always, I was like critiqued or judged a little bit for always following my passions, and they might have switched here and there and up and there, but everything that I did molded me for who I am now. And I see myself using every last gift, because that was my prayer, that I use every last gift in this body, on this earth. So it was like, when you start following what gets you going, not like mandatory stuff, like gotta take care of the kids. No, what really gets your heart pumping, like what you're really excited about, like that stuff right there, you realize you've been doing that all along. You know what I'm saying? Like, your whole life. You don't even realize it until you look back and be like, I was doing this all along. I mean, literally, I started out counseling my parents. Like, my parents been together for 56. They're gonna get me. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but like 56 years, I think. But all my friends say my parents are unicorns, because they still love each other. They still for each other. They out right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what made me come home, because my parents were getting older, and me being the only child with them, like, stuff started happening. My dad got sick last year, so I had to lock in and load it. And they hard-headed. They don't want to tell you stuff, so you got to find out on your own. I tell my dad all the time, he's not trustworthy. He's a minister. But I'm just like,
I love them. I love your parents. I do. They were one of my church moms and church dads. Love them, love them.
And see, they were doing counseling when we was younger. My dad was doing youth counseling. I think I just followed in my dad's footsteps and didn't realize it, and just did it, and just tweaked it my own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been doing counseling. I went from coaching, counseling. I got certified at a very young age. My spiritual father, Dr. Clarence McPherson, who's no longer with us, like, I was under his wing for like a long time. I've been doing it for so long, and then I went to doing Young Life. Matter of fact, Malira Green, she was one of my kids.
Really?
When we were younger, that's how much I'm showing my age.
Well, wow, that's my little sister and Delta.
I remember when her and Wendell got together. Okay, so
this is
how
full
far
circle.
Back. Yeah, that's how far back we go. Because her parents, we were band brother and sister when we were Spartans.
Wow.
So that's how small the world is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
like but she was one of my kids. Her and they was one of my kids. Like when we were younger, her and Dominique. Shout out to my boo boo down. Yeah, but we were all counselors, youth counselors for Young Life for years. We would go to camp and everything every summer.
Wow.
But I've
I'm
always,
amazed.
and then I started my nonprofit with my ex-husband, and we just been always doing it. And then after that dissolved and I moved, like that happened, I started counseling women. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been doing domestic violence stuff for a long time. My mom and I. My mom was a domestic counselor for the hotline. Like we just into, like my mom's an RN, so we're just into that stuff. You know, like I'm big on that. I just left. We did NASA a couple years ago. We're doing an invention for that for mental health. My partner and I. But I was chosen among the 30. And they brought us in for NASA to do an invention that will help the world. And mine had to do with mental health. Like it's important. Like all this matters. So I've been just doing it for a minute. And I just realized me talking to the coaches, me talking to people, me talking to my clients over and over and over again, saying the same thing. Put in the book. Let them help themselves. Those who can't afford my services, because you do pro bono all the time, but I'm a business too. And those who can't afford my services, well, then they can buy the book and they can transform themselves. And you can still do something.
That book is so it's 25 chapters.
Plus
right?
the 30-day challenge.
Plus the 30-day challenge, right? Which I'm going to take. So the book, I started reading it and I was like, woo. I know I got some homework. I call it homework. I love doing homework, right? So
Me too.
I have some homework to do. So I'm going to continue to read it and take my time. I don't want to fly through it. You know, I want to receive everything and have my little handy dandy notebook so that I can so that I can grow. So let's talk. Okay, so what about the challenge? What does the challenge consist of?
Okay, so what I did with the challenge, because I know I'm a big person, a huge person when it comes to like doing. I'm always saying love is the action word do. Like I tell my kids, like how I know you know it is by you doing it. Like don't tell me you know something and you don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, especially when it comes to coaching, especially when it comes to personal development and growth and all that stuff, we'll go and we'll spend the money and buy all the stuff, do all the stuff, and we won't put it to the test. We won't put it to the use. And we all know that we're habitual. We are habits. We're mimickers. We do things over and over and over and over again. And we have things that are embedded into us over and over and over and over again to the point that we don't even have to think about doing things. It's just automatic. We just do it and don't even realize we're doing it. Well, imagine having all that stuff that you have found out about yourself, and then you try to put all the stuff that I put into that book and you do it right away. You're going to overload. You're going to burn out. You're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be. So what I did is I took the stuff that I put, because in each chapter, and I'm a writer creatively, I like poetry. I like to be poetic. You know what I'm saying? So I like to create with my stuff. It's not going to just be a self-help book. I'm going to put my work into it. I like to put my voice into it, my style. So as you can see, every chapter starts off with a poetic something of my saying or
from
whatever.
You, right.
Every chapter is something from my heart that I want to say to you. Okay? So I want to tell you poetically I love you. I also want to give you some instructions and some enlightenment, but I also want to show you how to do it. A lot of people give you self-help books and they don't tell you how to do stuff. They say heal, but they don't give you the steps on how to heal. What? So I broke each chapter down on how to do stuff, how to start your healing, how to start your process, how to start your infinite power. It's a whole journey. It's a process. It's not overnight. So I took those chapters, what I told you in them chapters, and I implemented for 30 days so you can start doing it, so it becomes a habit. And you'll automatically start reprogramming yourself. Because we talk to ourselves horribly. We talk to others horribly. We talk about others horribly. Let's just be 100. It comes from somewhere.
Right.
So let's start with you.
That's true. Because we've had our phone conversations just about what we say to each other, how we handle each other, how we communicate with each other.
Absolutely.
We had a session unknowingly
I
while I
know,
was at
right?
work, and it was so deep that the tears were flowing and I could not stop them. All good tears, but it was tears of release and the knowing that I'm on the right path, that I have to continue intentionally, and that this is for my good. And I do believe that people are in your life for reasons, for seasons, for a lifetime. You know, we go way back. We had seen each other for a while, but we just came back, and it was natural, you know. And so I needed you, you needed me, and we are here, and I'm evolving as we speak even more, and I'm excited about that. I think that the book is, like I said, I started it and I was like, yeah, I have some homework. I love that. I love that word. I've always loved homework. Let me just be clear. You know, I always had honest classes. I love homework, and I think that you have to be open. And as my bestie, Dr. Stephen L. Riddick would say, coachable. You have to be
Absolutely.
coachable,
I say teachable.
Coach Rowe,
I say
Coach Rowe,
teachable. Yeah. I said
teachable.
teachable, but my thing is I was not that. I was an A student until I got to high school maybe. And then I was number one. I didn't want to move down here. My mom gonna get me for this because she gonna say it's your fault that you moved back down here. Cause you know, I'm from Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Both parts of my home. You know what I'm saying? But I used to come down here every summer. You know what I'm saying? Like to be with my grandmother and everything and my family down here. But Connecticut is what raised me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So when we moved down here, I think my life shifted. I was 12. And I think that's when I went through I started going through my darkness. You know what I'm saying? Because I was not, when I got to high school, I got A's in the classes I love, and I skimmed by and hustled through the classes I didn't. I'm being 100. When I was in college, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. My mom like, you have to get the gap. I do, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. You know, I was supposed to be a speaker. I love English. I got straight A's in all my English classes. Like my professors still use my examples for their classes now. Like Professor Bird, like she still uses my classes right now, my work. Like she uses my stuff right now to this day. And it's like I didn't realize what I wanted to be. And that's why I tell these kids, these young kids, when I work with them, when you're 18 years old, you don't know who you are. You're a baby in this world now. You're a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The world might say you're an adult, but you're not. You're a baby. Because from the time you was born to now, we've been telling you what you are, what you ain't,
What?
what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what we're afraid you're going to do, and all this stuff. You now got to figure your stuff out. And you think you're going to let them go and fly now? No. That's when you're supposed to hone in on them. Because that's when I made most of my mistakes.
Yeah.
I had fun doing it, though. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I had a ball. I ain't going to lie. I tell my kids I had fun. I had fun making my mistakes. They weren't some mistakes that I was like, oh my God. I had fun figuring out who I was. Oh, I like that, didn't like that. Do this, don't do that. It was
Right.
fun for me. My mom's from a free spirit.
Well,
It
you know,
is what it is.
but you know, even in growing up, one of the things I loved about you, that I continue to love about you, is the fact that you are expressive, that you have the gift for gab, that you are creative, and that's a part of who you are. And like you said, when you are tapping into and embracing your infinite power, is taking all those things of who you are so that you can be great right now. So I think about, even with myself, it's like I've always been about empowering people. Even when we was growing up in church, you know, being mentors and over those that were younger than us. That was natural. That's what I love.
Absolutely.
Tutoring, working with kids. So everything, even now, so Clara and I, we were in the store earlier today, and the spirit just came upon me to give one of my postcards to the the cashier. And so she was like, "Oh, this is great." She said, so do you go live? Is it interactive? Because I love those things." And I was like, "Yeah." And so she was like, "Well, thank you so much." And I walked away feeling good because I love connecting. I realized I'm a connector. I love to do that. I love fashion. I'm able to infuse my fashion with empowerment. That's who I am. I once had somebody who they were like, "Why are you always posting pictures of yourself on Facebook?" Well, first of all, sir, is my Facebook page. Let's be clear about that. Number one. Two, if I'm talking about self-esteem and loving yourself, loving the skin that you're in, don't I have to love the skin that I'm in?
It starts
Like
at home.
make it make
Yeah,
sense. So but that's who I am and what I love. And like you said, not running away from or being shy about or apologizing for who you are and what you're called to do. I'm called to empower women, but it starts with me. Like I have to love that all chocolate. Yes, I said all chocolate. I have to love that all chocolate woman that I see in the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm putting on my Rihanna red hot lipstick. You know what I mean? Like I have to
absolutely.
love that woman, not the world love me, but me first. And be okay with me, be happy with me. And when I walk out and I'm talking to people and smiling at people, and even when I get on the bus and I'm doing my bus chronicles, my bus drivers, they recognize me. And sometimes even like may not have been on their bus, because maybe it was another bus that picked me up. They're like, "Oh my, I haven't seen you. How you doing?" That's the light. That's the happiness. They remember those things. So yeah, we can't shy away from who we are or apologize for it. Be bold. It's not about being cocky. It's about just being knowing who you are and just being happy, and then sharing that with others so that hopefully they can get their happiness, they can get their love, their self-love for themselves.
Absolutely.
I concur. Yeah. So what else can we do uh to tap into our infinite power? Of course, it starts with the work, doing the work, having those sit downs with ourselves. How do we transition?
Well, first and foremost, you got to start. Well, I already told you number one, you got to want to do it.
Right.
Um, you can't be afraid. But if you are, well, I ain't gonna say you can't be afraid. You can be afraid. You can exert. You can acknowledge the fear. Just don't let it stop you. Okay, because you're gonna witness some things about yourself that you didn't know, and that's the problem when it comes to a lot of people. They're running from themselves. They're afraid, and that's why you have a lot of people who project like nastiness. Like their aura is. You can tell how somebody feels about life by just listening to them. And I've always been a good listener. Like I said, being the baby or the youngest, I've been around grown-ups all my life. Um, like literally, I was always around the elders. So, but when we was little, it was like children should be seen and not heard. So as long as I could stay up, I would be quiet so I could stay up. And I would just sit and listen. No, for real, I would just sit and listen and observe. And you can see who's who just by watching. You can see the one that always has to be right in the room. You can see the one that always has to be seen in the room. You can see the one that you can just see the one that don't want to be seen in the room. Like you can just see the roles and the auras of people. And I just got really good at it. I think it starts with looking yourself in the mirror. I think a lot of people they don't really look at themselves in the mirror. I think they don't observe themselves in the mirror. They might see themselves, they don't observe, like past the
Mm.
pupil. Like really look at yourself. And I know I got big eyes. Like really, like I look at myself in the mirror. Like I really do. Like I like to observe me because I know it's more than just this flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Right.
I don't want to like excuse the people coming in, my dog and everything, you guys, but I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanna observe me. You know what I'm saying? So I really like the good, the bad, the different. I mean, that's one thing about me. I'm gonna be me, and you can like it, lump it. I don't know if that's a Scorpio in me or what, but I like me. I think that helps a lot. And those that don't, start. See why you don't. Ask those questions. Well, why don't you like you?
Mm. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like talk. Like why don't you like you? Like
So
if
do
you were
you,
your if you saw yourself on the street, would you be yourself? Would you be your friend?
ooh, ooh. I would be my friend. I would.
You know,
I would
my
want to
kids
rock.
told me, and this is real 100. My kids told me, they said, Mama, if we were the same age, they said we wouldn't be your friend because you a know-it-all. I'm like, but back then I wasn't a know-it-all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a know-it-all. I like to know a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like,
It's
you
a
know what I'm saying?
difference.
At 19, I'm like, no, I did think I mean, like, I did have high esteem all my life. I think, I mean, even when I didn't, even when I think that's from being the only child, though. I had to do things independently.
Right.
So I learned, like,
Same.
everything. Yeah, you know, everything you gotta
Mm-hmm.
do. So we outspoken. We like, nah, you know what I'm saying? We gotta sing in front of the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do everything.
Sing,
You know what I'm saying?
speak, present.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta speak in front
Yeah.
of the church. You gotta do this in front of the church. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? So you just learn to be like, you know. So I just think you gotta get in front of the mirror, really check yourself, ask yourself questions. Like, okay, like if you love yourself, that's great. Why do you love yourself? What do you don't like about yourself? Because it's always something. I can tell you what I don't like about myself. You know what I'm saying? I used to hate that I spoke fast. Because you know why? Because everybody will always say, you speak too fast, huh? What you say, what you say, what you say. But I tell them, like now, that's English not my first language. I had to learn English. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my spirit. My spirit language is not English. You know what I'm saying? Like I was colonized like everybody else. Like that's why I get on my nerves. People say, "Oh, you speak white." We all do. If you speak English, that's European. Like, but people don't want to touch on stuff like that. You gotta go beyond your flesh. You gotta be your flesh, your mind, your body, your spirit. You gotta tap into it all, not just one part of you. Tap into it all. Your flesh. Why you? We got light and dark. You got your light and you got your dark. It's polarity. It's duality when it comes to this life. People only want to talk about their light. Nah, I have a dark side, and it's not pretty all the time. It will be horrible for you to mess with it. But guess what? I say it from the people that I know bring that out of me, because I don't want to be that. But have I been there before? Absolutely. I wallowed in it. And as Scorpio, we're comfortable being in the dark. It matters. Find out who you are. Find out what's going on with you. Find out what hurt you. For real, like really, because we all been hurt. Coming in this world is trauma. Coming through the birth canal. Soon as they pull you out, what they do? Spank you. You gotta take your first breath. You think that's not traumatizing? That's why you don't remember it.